I know I am.
Hey, what'd you have for your break?
I had cinnamon toast crunch. It wasn't as elaborate as I was hoping, but
So when you
it's
say
late here now.
I'm gonna go make some food.
Look, I would have made something more elaborate if it was actual dinner time, but now it's like 4 a.m. for me, so my options, are limited.
I mean, if you have everything in your house, you have all the options.
Yeah, well, I can't say I'm that deep into esports quite yet, but you keep me at these kind of times, and maybe I can go in that deep.
All right, we got a IG Slaughter first pick, which can be a support, can be offlane. We do see teams going about 50-50 in terms of when is it the support or the offlane. But yeah, we got IG. A lot of times I say this is Burning's IG, but really it's OP, XSS, and Bobuka, plus the two kind of more well-known players in terms of Q and Burning. These three core players have been together for 4 years now, which in Dota 2 it's like mirror for life essentially, and they've been kind of rotating players around them. So it's Q and Burning this time around. They're okay. They're doing around pretty decently, but I definitely don't think they're up to the level of LG.
Yeah, how exactly did the seeding work for this tournament? Like, why is Invictus Gaming this high in the bracket, and why is Newbie even higher in the bracket?
So we played a whole bunch of group stage matches, and Invictus Gaming finished the third highest. I think IG is one of those teams that, unlike I think the other Chinese teams take this particular tournament much more seriously. Like, you have LGDs and LFY kind of using this tournament as scrimming grounds, which explains why they were winning a lot less games. Whereas for IG, because they weren't going to a lot of LAN events, this is kind of their thing. So they were doing a lot better. And Newbie, they were just good. They were just trashing out everyone.
And then what exactly is this thing? So, like, they're at a LAN right now, or no?
I don't know. I don't think they are.
That's what I thought, but then I saw, like, Molly had tweeted, like, a picture of people showing up at some physical location for DPL.
I mean, it could be. This is supposed to be like China's like biggest league and stuff. It doesn't get too much coverage in the Western world because
Right.
Western world never cares about China. I don't have too much information whether they are online or not. It could explain why everything is delayed so heavily.
Yeah, that's
But
what I was thinking.
I think the Chinese teams are so used to playing online anyways that it shouldn't negatively affect them one way or another. In fact, I think it helps certain teams when they are playing online because certain teams do play better.
I see. And then, is there a prize pool or no?
Yes. No, they're playing for peanuts. And
Glory.
and Glory.
It's the DPL, man. It's the hottest league in all of China.
So professionally well run. First place gets 238k USD.
All right.
Second
That's nothing to
place
scoff at.
it gets 100k, and third place gets 70k. So right now we're playing for about 50k. Whoever loses this will go home with 50k.
Okay.
That's a
So
lot.
then that gives some stakes, gives
Yes.
some meaning to these matches now, and definitely gives a lot of power to LGD, having fought through basically not being in the money to being in some money now.
Correct. And also, there is DPL Season 3 as well, and the top 6 finishing team is automatically qualifying to that, so we're going to be seeing more of CDEC as well as LFY in the future. In terms of when they will show up, DPL Season 3, probably after Chinese New Year, so sometime in late February, early March, maybe even April. Don't quote me on that one, I'm not too sure.
I see. Well, then we'll get into this draft that's going on right now, Invictus Gaming versus LGD Gaming. Bad Rider being the first pick for LGD, and this is actually the very first game out of both of the series that we've casted that Legion Commander was not only not banned in the first phase, but just not banned, period.
Correct.
So I'm shocked.
And I guess IG calls their bluff, right? Like, everyone's like first phase banning it against LGD. So like, yeah, you could have it. We'll let you pick it, and LGD just doesn't pick it themselves. They're busy picking up Batrider, which I do believe this is one of the few times that it's first phase pick, right? Because the earlier times we've seen Batrider, it has been a fairly late pick.
Right. And LGD hasn't banned out anything like a Nyx Assassin or other specific Batrider counters. Like we mentioned, Legion Commander is still in the pool, and IG could take Legion themselves.
Sure. I do believe their mid player OP does play it from time to time, but OP generally prefers more of the kind of mid heroes. I think his best one is Tinker, but he plays like a decent OD as well, and pretty sure he could play things like Dragon Knight and Razor and whatnot. But looks like he's going to be up against an Ember Spirit in the mid lane. We saw maybe running the magical build. I imagine he's going to do something similar, and it is going to be an OD for OP.
Yeah, but then do you think a Magic Ember is viable against an OD? Because I feel like Astral can definitely cut a lot of that potential.
You mean self-Astral as a save mechanism, or...?
Self-Astral, or like, you know, you get rooted, you can Astral Ember, and then he can't really unload all 3 Fire Remnants on you. Or you can self-rem. Yeah, or, I mean, if Ember goes on another target, you can Astral whoever gets rooted by the Searing Chance.
I don't think the two actually have that much... Like, I don't think Ember's magic build versus Ember's physical build matters too much in against OD. OD is going to have a fairly similar game plan, regardless of what build Ember goes for. And,
oh yeah, that's for sure.
You know, OD eventually is going to get a Hex that is going to be pretty brutal against the Ember. I actually like Ember going magical against OD simply for the reason is that you could take the fight to them much earlier. And the standard build that OD goes for involves a Force Staff, which is normally quite good against a farming-oriented Ember Spirit. But a fighting one, he could kind of catch up to you quite easily because of the more emphasis on Remnant and Sleight and Chains. So I'm expecting a Magic Ember, but who knows?
Yeah, and especially if he does go for a Veil, that'll synergize very nicely with this 4th pick, Lina from LGD.
Yeah, we haven't seen Lina Inverse in a long time. I'm glad that she's
Everyone was screaming about raindrops being the death of her, and to an extent that's true, but Lina is also good at, like, I mean, raindrops have charges, Lina has plenty of mana to burn, and so a lot of, I guess, core heroes will have their raindrops, but there's a lot of ways to put it on cooldown. Ogre Magi Ignite, Ember Spirit with these Remnant bursts. I don't think that the Searing Chains does enough damage. Well, actually, it does. It's 80 damage per second. So I guess it does do enough to burn off the charge.
The big problem for me, Lina, especially in this patch, is the fact that she's very clunky as a hero. Like, imagine her trying to land an LSA on... Don't even say Weaver, right? Like, just say on Slaughter, right? Like, it's just really hard to land without previous setups, which, to be fair, they have Ember, Batrider, and Ogre as setups. So maybe that kind of erased the first problem. The second problem is her manas. Yes, you have shrines to help your mana pool, but her spells are all very expensive. She doesn't normally build towards mana regen item, especially as a support. Maybe she'll get a Yule somewhere down the line, but a lot of times you make one single gank with her and you just have to base. And it's just, in this kind of very fight-oriented meta, leaving the map for essentially a full minute is just not the way to go. But we'll see. We'll see how LGD play it.
Her level 10 talent, she does have the option for plus 250 mana.
Yeah, and
so that helps out a little bit.
I wouldn't even say option. I feel like she almost has to take it.
Unless if you want to go right-click Lina, because the alternative is plus 20 damage, but that's not going to happen anytime soon. I mean, we may be transitioning Ember into a build that's not traditional for him, but I think Lina's going to be staying a magic damage hero for a little bit longer.
I mean, I recently played CM and I took the plus 50 damage at level 10, the talent. It's
Which
decent.
Is what you're, it's of course it's decent. Everyone keeps like being like, "Oh, are you gonna play Crystal Maiden carry now?" No, it just helps you last hit. Same thing with Lion's damage talent. I always take it because it makes last hitting so much easier and you farm faster.
It's not just the last hit too, because like for CM in particular, and I guess it sort of applies on Lina as well. You have so much kind of crowd control and AOE that you actually do get quite a bit of right clicks off. Now, Lina doesn't exactly have the same amount of crowd control as Crystal Maiden, but she has the attack range to make up for it, so it wouldn't surprise me.
Wait, but do you still build Tranquil Boots then on CM? If you go for that damage
No, you go for phase, dude. You just you get in there.
Of course,
yeah.
of course.
But we got Visage as the final pick, so another hero that will give Lina like massive issues, right? Like the birds are just it's just hard to interact with them because they just hit you. You can't really hit them back. And also, if she's at full cloak, Visage, then Lina's gonna have trouble dealing with it. We have a CK here. So
Ooh.
this is
the kind of 7 draft that I was looking for.
So is this a carry CK or is this a carry Lina?
It has to be carry CK.
I mean, that doesn't have to be anything.
Lina right click doesn't seem very useful this game.
If you get plus 20 damage on her, it might be more useful, you know?
And then you hit up that level 25, get her +1 fiery soul stacks. Yeah, maybe, but probably not. I'm putting my money on no. Mainly because right now, this Weaver is going to cause a lot of issues for Lina, because if, like you said, it's hard as hell for her to land LSAs, and if she does go right-click, chances are that she's just going to get danced around by this Weaver all day long.
Yep.
Visage with the birds going to make life really difficult for her. And honestly, Visage with the birds is going to make life difficult for all of LGD, especially if this Ember is going to be going a magic build. He can't easily right-click down the birds. Only Ame on the CK will be able to deal with the birds easily.
Oh, and he's a melee hero, so I don't know if easily dealing with it is...
He's a melee hero, but it's a high move speed melee hero, 325, and
I guess you could Reality Rift, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Rift should work on it. And, I mean, so what is the build on CK? Because I think Echo Saber would be good.
Oh, you mean item build?
Yeah.
You know, I really don't know. The last time I've seen it being played as a carry, he went for more of like the Manta kind of Diffusal Blade kind of build. Like, just play him as a Illusion Core kind of situation. Meanwhile, we got IG with the full 5-man smoke, and they're making a way here against a maybe. And maybe... Oh!
Not even necessary for the crush.
Oh, he misses the crush, and...
Oh god, maybe it is necessary. He has a Fairy Fire.
Oh
my god.
Burning's going for it.
Oh my god.
Alright, XSS normally makes very good play on Slaughter. That was a huge mistake. That was a first blood, as well as taking a rune to... you got Salve and Fairy Fire, which is not nothing, but it's definitely pretty bad.
It's tactical. Wanted to make sure that maybe burn through all of his regen now, even though he has a Salve in his quick buy, so he's probably going to use this bounty room that he should not have gotten and spend it on that Salve.
Oh.
That's
Definitely,
okay. XSS is just getting all these missed crushes out of his system now, so he'll be landing them 100%.
Okay, I believe that. I believe that. In terms of the lanes here, I think Slaughter is going to have a decent time, but I think CK is actually one of the scarier laners to go up against, especially with, you know, Lina as a support. Like, a level 2, I can imagine XSS straight up dying if he doesn't have close to full HP.
Yeah, this is a really mean lane to go up against, because Rift and Bolt are both great ways to set up for all of Lina's spells, and Lina does go for LSA at level 1, so no harass with Slave, just hoping for a kill attempt whenever an opening arises.
Yeah. I mean, she harassed just fine with her long attack range, although XSS is mitigating a lot of that by just staying in the tree lines and whatnot, and don't think they could actually make a go on it. LSA, a raw one will land, and that might actually be enough. Opening things up with LSA will allow a second LSA to follow up, and XSS needs to juke for his life. He doesn't. XZ hits 2 raw ones in a row, and 1 right click, that's going to cancel itself, and that should be an easy kill. Dragon Slave. Well, we were doubting XZ a little bit, but man, he's hitting every one of his spells without assistance.
Yeah, okay, but why did Slaughter run west as opposed to just going back to his tower?
I think he wanted to dodge a second LSA. He knows it was cooling down, and that kind of made him commit fully to that juke to the left, which did not work.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, it's possible that he wouldn't have been able to make it out. Well, now, XE... Oh, the rift into the trees!
Okay. They don't kill him here, though. Oh, I say that, though. The right click from
Don't they, though?
Lina?
This minus armor?
Oof.
Oh. That was so close.
I mean, he needs to try now, so.
You know, in 7.00 they would have gotten that kill because it would have been, what, 2 more minus armor at level 1?
Maybe, maybe.
In fact, I'm surprised that Ame hasn't gone for, like, a Blightstone or an Orb of Venom. I thought one or the other would be good in this lane, but he may go for it later, or he may just be like, whatever, we made this Slardr's life difficult enough, we can just go back to farming.
I mean, you could also rush for earlier power turrets. That's definitely decent as well, so. Looks like we have the support shrining up. And are they ready to actually make a...
Top lane, Jixing. He has Firefly, but he's taking quite a bit of damage.
Oh!
Oh! Now that's Soul Assumption.
Yeah. That's not like, you know, new Visage or anything. That spell did not change yet. It always hurt like super hard. That's a level 1 Soul Assumption, just like sniping people at like 20% health.
The thing is that it's usually, you're not able to get away with having 0 points in Gravekeeper's Cloak. Like, I mean, this Visage has 0 armor, and going toe-to-toe against a Batrider who can slow you, it's a tall order, but since Weaver's so fast, it's kind of intimidating for a Batrider to, I guess, trade hits with the support.
I mean, Batrider is also level 1 right now, which is, you know, 3 minutes in, that's terrible. I think even Slaughter is getting a bit more. Oh, now with the new tooltip that shows magic resistance, I can see that Q does have only 10% magic resist. Feels bad.
Yeah, and Gravekeeper's Cloak is going to get burned off extremely fast with Firefly, so he better enjoy these kills now, because in about 2 minutes, this Batrider is going to be impossible for Visage to zone out.
I don't think it's that bad. I think he's actually more worried about Ignite, because Ignite could get on him no matter what, right? Like, against a Batrider, you could like hide in fog, or maybe have birds in front of you, but once Ignite's on you, dude, ain't great.
Yeah, late game, or mid game, that's true, but like in the laning phase right now, birds are not nearly, like, that's not, I'm gonna be, actually, wow, this Visage is already level 4.
He's level 4, man,
really
he's
impressive.
like, yeah, doing a lot of work, and there's a hasted Bulbika as well. Getting body blocked somewhat, actually, by the Visage.
How is this Visage level 4? I'm so confused.
He's been
How does he
doing-
manage to do this?
He's been doing a very good job pulling and taking the Boundary Rune. Also, I do believe he's forced the Batrider out a couple of times. And I think that kill that he got onto the Batrider, maybe he got solo experience in the
Yeah, but it
sense
was
that...
a level 1 Batrider, so how much experience is that really?
I mean, it's some experience. He's doing a lot of the little things correct. Like
Yeah,
getting the
definitely.
rune, getting the pulls. And he's enjoying it.
Mid lane, we'll see if this is correct. Smoked up Lina and Ogre. Rubik is here doing some defense work, and they're going aggressive on maybe. But they might just be baiting themselves up the river.
Oh, nice Astro.
Nice Astral.
I think that will actually end up saving him. OB making the right play. Actually, I don't know, tossing him away was the right play. Boboka will die, and unfortunately, OP has been switching targets left and right. He focused a lot on maybe and then on Victoria. I think if he just like focus on a single target, he at least gets one return kill.
Wait, on who?
I think the OD could have got a return kill if he focused on...
Oh, if he did specific, yeah, one target.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the problem was that he was concerned about maybe getting the kill on the Rubik, so he just wanted to discourage maybe from coming in with a Flame Guard, and also he was taking all of his ints so he wouldn't have the mana for either the Searing Chains or the Flame Guard.
He did actually exit the fight with plus 13 in, right? Which is a lot of damage, so definitely is feeling pretty decently in the lane. And looks like OP skips his ultimate, which I believe in the verse, or one of our earlier games, we saw like a very early level 6 ultimate that turned the course of a big engagement mid. And it always kind of comes down to player preference in terms of whether you skilled the ult or not early on.
Yeah, I think in this situation, even just for the mana burn, if you're not dealing a lot of damage, the mana burn itself is really nice. I mean, and he has 2 Null Talismans, so even the damage from the int differential could be a lot against an Ember Spirit.
Sure.
And Ame has a Glove of Haste and a Headdress.
Uh-oh, Helm build.
Okay.
I guess you could bring your pets along when you reality rift somebody. You know, so
Yeah,
if you
and
have a
get attack
centaur,
speed,
yeah.
you get HP regen. Okay, I guess I can. I mean, I'm curious to see how well it is.
I think more importantly,
anytime I see Helm on anyone, I'm interested. to be honest.
I think more importantly, you just get like what +8 stats to everything, which like for int, that's really good for a CK.
Yeah, it's kind of supplanted Drum, because usually you'd see Drum in a situation like this on a
Right.
CK, but now it's just much worse.
I think there's very few heroes I would actually get Drums over Helm. Helm just kind of
yeah.
does
I agree.
a lot of the same thing that Drum does, except it gives you the ability to dominate a unit and has a ton of regen attached to it, so.
Plus CK has such high natural move speed that the move speed aura isn't too necessary. But
Oh.
again, he still hasn't built.
You see what he did here? He just like took the siege unit, and
Yeah,
now he has
he took
2
it.
siege unit like pushing into the tier 1. I don't think he'll kill the tower or anything, but oh, it looks like he's gonna move away the siege unit and go jungle with it. He could have hit the tower a little bit, I think.
Yeah, I know. Oh well, I guess it's some more farm speed.
Yep.
That piercing damage. What do siege creeps do? Is it piercing damage?
I think more damage to buildings and less damage to everything else. It just does siege damage, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh man, the birds are up in the top lane. 2-man stun. XC is getting really low, but he gets the bird off at the last second.
Yep.
I mean, he gets the bug off at the last second. And now, maybe, coming in hasted. Does not have flame shield up. Time lapse is down on burning.
TP
He's
out?
TPing out.
Okay, he'll make it home.
Yeah, can't stop it.
And I do believe Visage lost both his birds to a Bat Rider. Like, he flew them over the trees, and I guess he was busy, like, looking at his own hero. He wasn't migrating the birds. That's a very long cooldown. I was gonna congratulate him for hitting such an early level 6, only 8 minutes in as a support, but now you might as well be not level 6 because the birds are gone.
I think part of the problem is, since he wasn't there to provide the aura, the tower might have done a fair amount of damage as well.
No, he just left it in the tree line, and Bat Rider says,
Oh, really?
okay, I'm gonna
No.
just right-click them.
Shameful. Bot lane. There's a rift in on XXS, but he gets out.
Oh, he's baiting. Because here comes the cavalry. It's going to be Ame getting lifted up. This crush he will not miss because he got that one out of the system. And OP teleports in for a kill. That's a 4-man rotation, but I think killing CK is very well worth it every single time.
Oh yeah, because Burning is still up in the top lane, so they can't trade towers. I think IG is going to be able to, but they actually don't continue pushing.
It's more that CK farms very slowly as a core, right? Like, he doesn't actually have any innate farming ability. The Helmet Dominator helps a little bit, but not by much. And every kill that you get him, you shut him down so far. Maybe top lane.
Yeah, he's mainly using this flame shield for farming. He doesn't really seem too interested in going for a kill on this Weaver, which Weaver's not an easy kill, even with an Ogre. This Ogre's only level 4 right now. Oh wow, so now this might be an easy kill. They get this root off, but time lapse is up. They're not gonna be able to get this kill.
Questionable remnants by maybe.
It's because maybe wanted that bounty rune, but he had enough mana to use all of his remnants and activate them. So yeah, I'm a little bit surprised why they just didn't go for the kill.
Yeah. So when Ember Spear walked next to Ogre, he said, "Your foolishness is wisdom, Ogre." Explain that one to me, because that makes absolutely no sense.
It's like idiot savant, right? Because like
Ignorance
sometimes
is
you're
bliss.
so dumb.
That's kind of this.
Wait, what?
Ignorance is bliss. Does that
Y-
sort of make sense?
Kind of. It's more like sometimes something is so dumb that it's like brilliant in its own way,
Yeah. Okay.
and that's Ogre. He's just sometimes you get a 4x, and you don't know how it happened, you don't know why, but it was at the perfect moment.
All right. I mean, that's so wise that it's like too next level for me. All right, look at Ame. He's got the tiny Satyr creep. Satyr Banisher. It's a great ganking creep, and you just get to make random ganks like these.
They're all smoked up.
Oh! Ankles were
Yeah.
broken that day.
Yeah, that's CK. That's the CK I know and love.
Oh, OP. OP's gonna get purged up, and they're not really chaining these stuns well. He's very, very tanky for whatever reason. Now he will Astro himself. Here comes maybe into the fight. He will first focus on Bobuka, but meanwhile Burning doing a lot of work. Here comes the hammer being dropped. OP's still alive throughout all of this, and maybe he's out of mana. Burning on the chase Q.
He's waiting for his Remnant. He has 12 stick charges. Remnant
He's
up
dead.
in 1 second. No, one.
Soul Assumption?
Remnant?
Oh my god, that damage!
Remnant?
Nope.
Why didn't he Remnant?
Not sure. Maybe I was busy buying stuff. before dying.
Maybe.
But he didn't buy anything, so I don't know.
But he didn't. Well, you know. He's played like 2 best of 3s today, so I'll cut him some slack.
So I was wondering why OD was so tanky, because he took like 3 Suns and a Laguna Blade, but look at his item build. He's got 1400 HP with Vid Booster, probably has Strength Treads at the time, and Infused Raindrop. So...
Yeah, the Raindrop kicked in for the first Chaos Bolt, and I think it came off cooldown by the time Laguna Blade was coming. Now we got a Crush Lift up onto this Ogre. It's pretty tanky, but now in comes OD with this pure damage. Oh, but he doesn't get the Astral because it's only level 2 Astral. Oh, this is actually... OP is maxing out the Arcane Orb over the Astral. That is interesting.
Yeah, so it used to be... This used to be the build that everyone did. And then people
Right,
realized...
back when Astral was like 600 range at all levels.
Right, and then people realized, wait, I just farm much faster by maxing Astral.
Jungle,
Maybe gonna get picked off here. So, and then everyone transitioned over to the Astral build. And then now we're seeing the transition back to Arcane Orbs. I guess he's just like... There's a lot of melee heroes, just kind of hitting them more and more. And obviously he'll max everything out eventually, but...
I guess in the laning phase, since Ember has Flame Shield, you can't really hassle too much.
Right.
Because I think Ember gets the Flame Shield off before Astral damage connects. So it's not as much of a lane-dominating tool against that specific hero.
Well, IG's definitely doing quite well.
Jeez. Tower takes out, like, it's basically like one... It only takes 3 tower hits to kill a bird. Granted, IG Q only has 1 point in Gravekeeper's Cloak still. But
I mean,
still, man.
They have 300
birds.
HP. Like, they're squishy as hell. You actually need to micro it now. As opposed to, like, I'm playing Visage. I'm gonna just right-click them on you. You die.
That's my favorite way of playing them. 2 big items completed. Slaughter completes his Blink Dagger, and Batrider completes his Blink Dagger, and OD completes Rod. So I think both teams want to show off their shiny new items, while Ame has just been like roaming around the entire time. He is not just passively farming. After he completed this Treads Helm, he's wanting to get into fights, but it's not working out every time. In fact, it's working out very rarely.
This playstyle of CK really reminds me of like a life sealer. Oh, mid lane, burning, is gonna get lassoed up. They even clap on top of him with that Satiric, gonna try to burst him down. They do, man. Before the slaughter comes.
Crush.
Well, it's a little bit too late though. The buyback here from the Weaver, and Burning uses his time lapse to join the fight. And that 4-man crush transitions into so many kills. The courier flies through, gives them another free one. That's 4 kills and a courier. Sure, Burning had to buy back, but damn, worth.
What a godlike crush, oh my god. That was debut of the Blink Dagger, and what a way to show it off. See, that makes up for all the missed 0-minute rune fight crushes that you could dream of.
Sure, I would always make that trade if By the way, OP, like you said, has a rod. I do believe that's the first rod purchase we've seen all day, right?
Yeah, it is, and I think it's a great item on OD. This game specifically, can Ember Remnant out if he's rotted, if he's crippled?
I believe not, but
Okay.
I'm not 100% sure.
Okay.
The thing is, like, sure, rod will root you once you're, you know, rooted by it, but at the same time, everything that... It's a projectile, right? So you can still dodge it with whatever skill that gets rooted. Like, for example,
True.
You try to shoot that rod at the Storm Sphere. Storm Sphere can still zip it in midair and dodge it.
It's pretty fast though. So like for initiating, I agree that it's kind of it's not that reliable as like a Yule's is or something.
Mm-hmm.
But if someone's like mid team fight, they're not going to be able to notice what the hell's going on.
Right.
And they're going to be like, why can't I use this?
I actually think it's a great chain stunning tool. Like maybe.
Oh yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's a great initiation stun, quote unquote, as well, but it gets really better when you're kind of following up from your teammates.
Which there is a lot of follow-up. I mean, Slaughter, like we see, has his Blink Dagger completed. You're going to have familiar stuns following up on that, and then Bobica, Rubik. Oh, Rubik has Laguna Blade stolen.
Nice. And actually has a mana pool to cast it.
Even nicer.
Yeah.
They want to pick a fight up top, and they want to bait Burning.
Well, don't think anybody's here to be baited, so...
Jishing's in the neighborhood, and he has his Blink Dagger, but he knows he can't kill. Oh,
Ooh.
my.
Shouldn't have doubted himself. Our starter player
maybe.
earlier would have just hit that one.
That... I've been seeing a lot of amazing blind crushes recently.
Yeah. Alright,
They're gonna take this tier 1.
a little bit of tower trades. Here comes the entirety of LGD. The one thing that the LGD lineup has going for them is, like, CK could just win one fight and he could just lose the lane of barracks. Like, he's insane in terms of how much he could do. Mostly at level 18, but it could start as early as level 12.
Yeah, especially with Bloodlust Ogre, which Ogre is opting to max out Ignite as opposed to maxing Bloodlust, which is a trend that I've been seeing recently. But, I mean, Ogre's gonna hit his levels eventually. A multicasted Bloodlust off of Phantasm Illusions is a ton of damage and a ton of push.
I think it's more
Well,
of...
it looks like IG gets 2 tiers of towers up in the top lane.
Yeah. Well, maybe has gone for the Blade Mail build. I'm not sure if you already mentioned that, but looks like he's gonna be going for a BOT next. I don't know. I'm not sure if this is the right game for it. Cause I did say it's good because you could take the fight to IG, but IG's just winning all these fights. Maybe it's time to like just transition.
Into right click?
Yeah, carry build.
Yeah, I would think so too. Now IG's gonna take this Roche. They're gonna give it to the OD. They don't really have there's no like... Oh, never mind, there is a mech up on Visage. Okay, so they can definitely just start 5-manning down every single tower now.
How is he so rich?
I don't know. This Visage is like crushing it right now. He does have a 60 GPM talent, so that's helping him complete these items.
I mean, he
But
just got level 10 not too long ago, right? Like, so
yeah, him hitting level 10 in general is like impressive to me.
Yeah.
So, for being a safe lane support Visage, he's having a massive impact right now.
I mean, if you just look at the levels on supports, right? Ogre's a 7.
Oh, Bat Rider in the top. What? Okay, mid. Yeah, he's gonna die.
Alright, I'm kinda missing out these kills.
Yeah, I don't really know what Bat Rider was doing that deep, but he was, and now he's dead.
Victoria might be in a little bit of trouble as well. The birds are coming in, and so is XSS.
XXS! He has Blink Dagger in 1 second.
Got him. Well, he needs a little bit more. Q is essentially hasting in. The birds are here, and they do have Rubik to follow up as well. That's going to be yet another kill. Like, I look at the way that IG plays right now, and honestly, they should be good enough to beat every other Chinese team. They actually beat Wings 2-0 in the past. But they just
Really?
don't... Yeah, they just don't have this kind of performance every game.
Yeah, consistency seems to be the major issue with many Chinese teams, as we saw at the major.
Yeah. Well, no, they were just consistently bad at the major.
True. So maybe consistency isn't an issue.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna see
Yeah,
another...
and I don't really know. Like, I don't consider this to be like down to drafting either. I mean, yes, CK is kind of out of the meta, but like the meta is not defined yet in 7.0 at all.
I think that river fight where they went for OP, but because of his tankiness, they didn't get the kill. That fight really took a lot of gusto out of the LGD lineup. The weakness of this lineup is essentially it's all single target, right? They got the Lina, which, you know, her burst is the Laguna is single target. The stuns that they have is very single target oriented. So unless you just outright kill the person you're going for, and Astro just essentially makes you waste so much cooldown and damage, and you don't get too much out of it.
Yeah, that's very true. Usually you try to round out a draft like this by picking a carry who can not be single target, like a Luna or something.
Right.
But CK is like the epitome of single target, right up there with Ursa, to be honest. And so, yeah, this is a lot of very, like, tunnel vision kill potential that LGD has. And if they can manage to realize it on a target, it's great. The problem is that IG is just picking them apart. Burning is on a killing spree right now on this Ogre.
CK brought everybody in, and maybe... Oh no, he needs to get himself out there. Meanwhile, we have Bat Rider lastling up. Oh, dude, he didn't even take any damage of the cloak, dude. Maybe the fire burned down some of the cloak charges, but that Laguna Glaive did nothing. Burning on the chase. Not going to find XZ as he was able to pour it out, but maybe taking a lot of damage? No, he'll be able to run away. Oh, the Blink Root on the Bat Rider, and he should be dead here. The ultimate being committed.
That
Oh,
Astral.
Burning gets rooted, gets LSA. The
He
Lincoln.
has time lapse, but he needs to mash it.
Okay,
Okay,
he's
he
fine,
mashes
he's fine.
it.
Alright,
Yeah.
that
Okay.
was-
So does Firefly just not burn off Gravekeeper anymore? Let me see this.
I'm not sure if it does enough damage.
Minimum damage 50.
Okay,
That
70.
Rider does 70, but that's with it's like post reduction, and it's
And-
16% reduction per layer. So
Right.
it doesn't do enough damage anymore.
Well, it depends how many napalm stacks. As
That's
well,
true.
right?
It does depend on that, but
Yeah.
that was like a blink lasso, so he had no time to put.
Yeah,
in
and
stats.
Laguna just like did what?
Nothing. It
100
was against
damage?
the full. It was against the entire 4 stacks of Gravekeeper.
Yeah.
So now I can hover this handy dandy 36% magic resist that I see on Visage.
It should be
Yeah.
more, right? I don't think it
should be
ticks
more.
into the account of cloak. Like it's just hood and his base.
Oh yeah. What? They go through all this trouble of adding this dynamic element to the HUD, and it's not even accurate. Shame. For shame.
Dota 2.
It must have been like 90% reduction.
Ooh.
Oh.
I wonder if Ignite actually does enough damage to burn off the cloak. I don't think it does,
Yeah.
right?
I don't think it does.
50 damage per second.
Yeah, no, it definitely doesn't.
Well,
Huh.
so this just in, Visage good against DOTs because none of these DOTs do enough damage.
Yeah, I can't actually think of many DOTs that deal more than like 100 damage per second, because that's about how much you need to burn off a full level of cloak.
So we're looking at Veno ult and Macropyre.
Even Veno like deals its ticks like it's just like a really long duration, but the ticks themselves don't do that much. Huh.
Yeah.
All this time I always assumed, well, I mean, I guess this is new information, but still. Definitely have to mentally recalculate how I draft against a Visage.
You just ban Visage. That's how you draft
Oh,
against them.
that's how I do it.
Yeah.
Monkey King and Visage, top bans in all pick games. I can see it now.
I don't know. I don't really worry about at least Visage in pub games because nobody actually knows how to micro.
Yeah,
You just
exactly.
get free birds like it's no one's business.
Only if you know someone is a certified Visage spammer. Like if I run into Lil in a ranked game, which would never happen because I'm not nearly good enough to make that happen, but if I do, I'm definitely banning Visage.
Fair enough.
Yeah, now he's completing off the full pipe. Doesn't have arcane boots, so Greaves
Top
doesn't
lane,
seem to be.
Blink Lasso to start things up. OP is gonna get the everything treatment. And that was enough to get him dead, and they needed to everything him because, damn man, he had BKB as well.
Yeah, unfortunately, the Aegis that he had about 2 minutes ago was never used. He would have really liked that in that situation, but LGD were waiting patiently. And maybe doesn't actually complete any items in the meantime, so they were able to do that pretty much just off of the Laguna Blade damage.
Yeah. Unfortunately, they were unable to get too much of anything out of it. They got a glyph out of tier 2. Do they actually want to go in and finish it? And
Yeah, but they need to
Weaver.
defend against mid. Burning has a Desolator Dragonlance as tier 2 is going down.
Yep.
And he doesn't know where the rest of the Radiant team is, otherwise he could continue pressuring the lane.
Oh, dude. 2-stack, easy.
Swarm on Ancients is such a nice buff.
Yeah. They don't actually do that much damage, though.
They don't, but they draw aggro, which is all you really need as a Weaver. You just
Yeah.
need them to stay busy so they're not attacking you, because, I mean, Burning doesn't have any regen, really. He just has the Lincolns.
Yo, but a trick you could do, right? Once you swarm them, you drag your camera away to an enemy hero, and you attack them. Right? And then the Ancients aggro onto you. So they don't attack the swarm anymore, they just keep trying to attack you.
Why would the Ancients aggro onto you?
Because you're attacking like neutral mechanics, if you attack an enemy player, they will aggro to you.
I thought this was only lane creeps. I didn't know neutrals behaved like
Neutral
that.
did that too.
Really? So you're saying that as a melee hero, I could pull a creep wave if I right-click an enemy hero within 500 range of a neutral?
You could pull the neutrals aggro.
Really?
Like, has this never happened to you where like you're pulling a creep wave, right? Like imagine the safe lane, you're pulling a creep wave. You have a creep wave hitting them, and then the enemy offlane comes to challenge. You hit them a couple of times, but the neutral is like, yo, why are you hitting them? They try to hit you.
I feel like that has happened, but I just chalked it up to crazy AI.
Aggro, yeah.
Huh. Okay, I'm gonna have to research this. Not saying that I don't trust you, but you know, I'm a man of science.
Okay. IG unable to find a smoke gank. Walk it off. Ooh, Ember has Battle Fury queued up. I like this because the whole magic thing is just not gonna cut it.
Yeah, not this game. Unfortunately, he did go for the 15% spell amp as opposed to the 20 damage at level 10, but you know, it's just one talent.
Yeah. And the reason that it doesn't cut it in this game is that this build is only really good in very long, drawn-out teamfights. That's where you could take advantage of your spell cooldown and essentially the damage over time of the build. But I think long fights really favors IG, right? Because they have multiple soul assumptions they could use. Burning is just a big nuisance. So really need to go for the physical build instead.
Yeah, and Odie is going to be building up a lot of Arcane Orb stacks as well.
Right.
This Roche is going to be extremely quick. You got a Desolator and Corrosive Haze on Roche, so very, very fast Aegis for Burning. And every single outer tower is down. All the shrines are down. If there was ever a time to push high ground, this is it.
Yeah. I wonder if they're comfortable with the current equilibrium, because a BOT Ember Spirit is quite annoying.
But they can really like afford to give up a tower or two. It's not too big of a deal.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, they'll still have one more outer tower to protect their shrines. But it looks like they are TPing bot.
Ooh.
Might be able to do something? No. Ame backs out.
CK has the BKB, he queues up the Mantis also, so this is kind of... It seems like the Chinese way to play a carry CK.
Oh man. Maybe.
He's up.
Really quick fingers. Almost gets telekinesed.
Telekinesed? Is that a word?
That's the past tense, right? It has to be.
Okay. I mean... I'm no war scientist, so I don't know.
Yeah, I guess right now IG's hoping they can get a pick before they push high ground, and they're gonna keep dancing around, and they have a gem on Slardar, so they're eliminating all the outer vision that LGD has. But it doesn't seem like they're gonna push high ground unless they can make one kill happen.
Well, maybe draws OD back, so if they take a fight in their own terms right now, wouldn't be too bad here. But he gets lifted up, and he gets crushed as well. The chain stuns are good, and the physical damage is there. They actually want to fight this. Burning pops a BKB after his Link gets boxed as well, and now Ami's going to pop a BKB as well. Burning going up to high ground, he's got the BKB, he doesn't care too much. Blink Crush, immediate Yules as a follow-up here. LSA not going to hit because of the BKB on XZ, pulling him into the tier 4s, but the towers are not doing damage. They're actually focusing on the swarm bugs. Ame maybe will get off. Oh no, he gets crushed, and now Ame, look at the damage he's taking. Damn, he's just dead.
Wow, what a crush. He crushed that CK across the entire racks. It would seem like XXS was just playing defensively. Oh, Ghost Scepter going to protect this Lina, but she's not going to be able to defend very much. She has mana for a Laguna Blade. Lasso is down, though, for another 45 seconds. So they're not going to be able to defend against this Rex.
Yeah. I mean, Burning still has Aegis, so I don't know how they're actually going to kill him twice. They're trying to stun the birds, which, sure, why not? Burning is going to just take the Rax, though, in the back line. And IG, very poised, very methodical, and now it's going to be Bat Rider initiating himself, cannot grab anybody. Slaughter, though, going to get the pick, and now back we go, and I think that's going to be the second lane of Rax.
I feel like LGD is forgetting that they're playing against a Rubik right now, because like Ember was so far up in the mid lane, even though telekinesis is a threat. This Bat Rider is going in, even though telekinesis is a threat. It's like they feel they can dodge out. Oh, BKB on OP.
Yep, he's activating it.
Nothing.
CK just dies during the lift. He can't even survive long enough to activate the BKB. And Burning, tanking the tower a little bit. He will get hit by LSA. Probably get Laguna, but the mech from Q right in time. Burning's gonna lie. I mean, he still has Aegis, so he doesn't really care. And now, Birds in the front, Burning at the back line. That's gonna be a second lane of Rax. It would not surprise me at all if GG gets called right now.
Rubik venturing forth under Glimmer Cape. Looks like they want to defend this. Rubik might be the casualty. Another telekinesis. Slide of Fist to stay somewhat out of the fight. Glimmer Cape. Yeah, he's
fine.
gonna get out just fine.
You can even slight, make some plays. Alright. It was a very interesting way of pushing in terms of using the familiars. Like, the familiars were on the towers, and they were in between the Radiant and the Dire Hero, and they just couldn't come in, because if you came near the tower, the birds would shoot you. If you focus on the birds, they would just drop and make you waste time. And that extra, like, 5-6 seconds that the birds bought, it was just like, you know, OD and the Weaver hitting the building.
Yeah, the importance of that is Visage being able to stay in the perfect range to keep Cloak on the birds without having to go too deep in. And,
What is
like,
that range?
I believe it's 900. See, I was hovering over Gravekeeper's Club because auras are standard 900, I believe. Yeah, and so I was hovering over Cloak. I wish that it would show it, but it doesn't. But I'm pretty sure it's 900.
I also really like the way that he's itemized. Like, it's normally in a good game like this, he's gone. You would go for the Aghanims, right? But the whole like Meg pipe thing just synergized so well with his own tankiness, and obviously we saw how much it did there, saving Burning's lives.
Oh man, they just loop around for this haste, and I mean the smoke, and LGD has no idea where they went. Places a ward down, but that's going to get countered, and meanwhile, IG is going deep into the Radiant base right now, and the birds are going to be backtracking.
Okay. I think it was actually lucky for LGD not running into...
Yeah, I think so too. In fact, I like Visage had activated a pipe.
Right.
Because they were pretty sure that they were getting smoked on.
And also they had Aegis on Weaver then. That just timed out now, so... LGD will have to go back home.
And birds don't spot anything, so none the wiser of what they just avoided, but I'm sure IG wouldn't have minded one way or the other.
You know, if you give this LGD lineup maybe like 10 more minutes of farm, I think they have a possibility of comeback, but I just don't think IG will give them the time.
If this Ember didn't have Blade Mail first item, then I would agree. But right now the CK is so far behind right now. Dude has a BKB that's already... He used his 10-second charge, and a Yasha, which does not do very much right now, pre-Mantis style, so I don't really know what the CK is going to do in this next fight. I mean, he has such low int that even without getting any Arcane Orb stacks, a Sanity's Eclipse is basically going to wipe out, like, at least half of his HP.
I think what he needs to do...
Shiva's Guard Rod, Ultimate Orb on OD.
I think what he needs to do is, like, pretend he's a PL or a Slark. You just don't come in from the front, because I don't think he's tanky enough to, like, stand a Slaughter Crush and survive the tail-to-tail. He needs to come in from the sidelines and have, like, all his Phantasm active and just, like, snipe people. Whether it's going to be the Visage or the Rubik. But I don't think he has the luxury.
But not the Weaver, because this Weaver has a heart.
Yeah, okay, he can snipe some birds. It's not bad.
2 birds down. Cooldown is off now, though. Let me get a fresh summon.
Not having a reset on the birds, though, in an actual fight is pretty good if you're LGD.
Siege continues.
Okay. I mean, Burning has heart regen, so he's gonna just keep doing this until you actually go on
bot
it.
lane is pushing in big time right now.
Yeah.
Shrines are going to provide a little bit of a buffer, but not for long.
Ame could only stand there and look as Burning is just taking down his buildings.
I mean, if IG really wanted to play it
that's
safe,
gonna be a one-man
which they
crush onto Maybe. Maybe just dies, he pops a Blade Mail. Can he actually Remnant out? He jumps away, but he did not have a Remnant out in time. Meanwhile, CK just also dies. And there's a GG.
LGD had fallen far too behind to do anything. It would have taken a miracle for IG to, like, because they could have waited for Roche if IG wanted to. They could have waited as long as they wanted, but I guess they were somewhat concerned. You said if you give them some farm, maybe this Ember gets some criticals or something like that if he manages to complete a Chrysalis, but really, really solidly done by IG. I don't know if it was the draft or whatever, but each player did an exceptional job, especially this Visage.
Yeah, I don't think IG was ever behind at any stage of the game, like apart maybe like, you know, starting at minute 1 or something like that. That engagement down the river where they try to kill OP and OP turned it around, got like 2 kills for himself. I think that not necessarily the nail in the coffin, but that was kind of the spiral that LGD got into, and they kept losing fights. IG got stronger and stronger, and that mid lane 4-man crush,
Godlike.
yeah, that was the one I think that gave IG that huge lead. Burning had to buy back, but I mean, look at his score, 9-1-11. That was his only death, and he might be old, but he still will put his team on his shoulder and deliver. OP also 9-1-5, stellar performance, and IG looking like the team to beat right now. I think LGD is still the more individually skilled team, but nobody showed up that last game to play Dota.
Yeah, hopefully LGD goes for a little more conventional draft this time. I loved seeing the CK. The Lina I was kind of indifferent on, but I think LGD might play it a little bit more conservatively for this next game.
Yep. And with that, we're going to take a short break and go into game 2 in just a bit. We'll see you guys.